Well, hello, you little stumperoos. It is I. I went to a beauty conference the other day and they told me this would be a big improvement. Yeah, I went to the doctors. They told me to lose 25 pounds of ugly fat. They told me to cut my head off. Okay. I figured I'd make a video. Just farting along. Oh, what's he doing back here on a 10-ton road that I had to bond? Yeah, I'll get the blame for that. Anyway, Marky was loading Kimmy here yesterday to get it down here, and it head rolled on him there, and it broke this little Dusselhofer, I think that's what they call that, off. So it bent. It was already bent. It just finished it up. So it busted a hose. So I have got another Dusselhofer, and I'm going to just electro weld it to the Hoosamadinky. And once the Dusselhofer's on the Hoosamadinky, I can put my hoses back through and put my hose wrap back on, and then check my oils and check my fuel. And then I go up and cut that beautiful patch up there. That's about a 20, I don't know, the whole piece is like 25 acres, but there's probably 4 or 5 acres of field. So we gotta go rummage through that crap and get whatever's. Guy's been asking me to do it. He needs some money, and you know, there's not a lot there, but they want to put an artesian well in. And I was doing that big job last year, that big spruce job, and he works for a farmer that was, it was part of that job was a farmer's Yaney's property. So he stopped a couple times and said, hey, I got a patch of junk. They took the good logs out of it, and I want to cut it, clear cut it, and, excuse me, get a few bucks out of it, blah blah. So anyway, here was the landing that they used. I think this is all stoned when they cut the good logs out of it. There were some nice logs in there, but it looks, when I was hiking around, there's some big stumps and stuff. So you can see their chunk piles over here. So I'm going to take and just push that stuff back farther, and I want to stay off of my haul road here. I'm going to just set the Duzan up like right here and skid into it and keep it along the edge of the woods there, and then just make one straight skid path up like between them pines, kind of try and stay off the grass, and just that way I can fix it up for them when I'm done. And yeah, that other fiasco, you know, we just got that thing going, got the iron on the skidders and the chains and get going, and that, I don't know, they're complaining because I got ruts in my main skid path. It's like, I don't know, what do you want me to do? I'm gonna make a video about that because I got a lot of griping to do. Stupid, but whatever. Here I am on this piece. Hello mother, hello father. Here I am at Camp Granada. I just can't get off the comedy kick today. So I'm gonna weld this. I'm gonna go start my little welder. I got my little trusty electro welder right in my truck. I haven't started this thing in about a month, but usually runs good. I'm going to turn that down because I got 1/8 rod. So, come on, baby. Oh, listen to her go. What a nice little welder this thing is. Yeah, I've had that one for a couple of years. I don't use it that much, but boy, when I need it, it sure is handy. And it fits right in my little truck just nicely. I got another one back at the shop. It's a few years older. It was in the other service truck, but there's something wrong with it. I think I know what it is. They put an external battery on it, and them ding-dongs are running it with the battery cable was shorting out, and it was messing it all up. I think that's all it is, but I don't know. They just took it out of the truck and threw it in the weeds, so I got to deal with that. But anyway, so I'll try and set you up so you can see a little bit. I'm just going to stick this back together. Shouldn't take but a bit. Hopefully I don't light the thing on fire. I got a fire extinguisher right there if I need it, but should be alright. Alright, boys and girls, bear with me. I'll see if I can get you somewhere where you can see. Oh, look at that. That's just, whoops. Maybe it isn't. Hard to make this thing stay where you want it. It'd be nice if I had a GoPro, but I don't have one of them that's actually, that works. All right. Can you see me? Let me look at my butt here. Gotta get my mittens on. Yes, I did shut both of Kimmy's battery switches off. I shut the main battery switch off, and then, well, the auxiliary just runs the controls on the line. So I shut that off too. Especially on this computerized junk, you don't know, one little surge can burn something off. Stick welding when I can see. I'm thinking I ought to take up piano lessons so I can be like other blind people like Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder, and I would have a career, because they were really good. I do what I call 20/20 work. It looks good from 20 feet away if you're on the back of a horse that's galloping 20 miles an hour when you ride by. It looks pretty good. 20/20. welder cool off. Let my welder cool off for a second before I let it idle for a while. Let the electricity cool down in there. So, and this may very well be more like a 40-40, you know, 40 feet away and 40 miles an hour like on a motorcycle or something. It'll work. She's got her on there pretty good. Had the heat turned up nice. It sucked it in nice. Running a 70-18 rod, 1/8-inch rod, so that should suffice. What that allows me to do, it also guards the way these... Now, Ryan's has changed all this. These hoses are not exposed on the new machines, which is better. I had some issues with this, but what I do is I run them down, I run them through here, gives them a rounded thing to work on, and then back down around and down to these. So if you see how I make these fittings, because when you buy that one's a store-bought, but when you buy these fittings, the round ends that crimp onto the hoses, you know, the 90s, the long drop 90, they're like $30 just for that fitting. So I just take them and then I take a male end. If any of you guys deal with this type of stuff, it's a good way to save a little money. Take a male end off of a bad hose and just split it just behind the nut and just grind them as flat as you can get them. And what I do is I drop like a 1/2-inch diameter bolt down in from the top, and it'll keep it lined up, and then you can just tack it, you know, and then you can take the bolt out if you want, or just leave it in there. You're not going to weld it in. And then I weld around it. Like I say, they're not pretty, but they don't leak. It takes me a couple times, sometimes a couple of trips to get them so they don't leak. But if you do that, you just got to make sure, like, if you don't get it on the first trip and you just got a little crack in it, you got to really heat it good and burn all the oil out of it, or the weld won't go. But if you burn all the oil out of it, just shine it up with a wire brush, you can keep going. You can braze them too, but those are stick welded and they work good. But that saves me. Then all I got to do is stock these straight fittings, and I think these straight fittings are, you know, like maybe $3 or $4 or $5 a piece, as opposed to one of these with the 90 on it. They're just a fitting, just a crimp-on fitting is I think they're like $30, and they're probably more than that now that you know, inflation here. So that works pretty good. Saves me a lot of money. So I took all of my old ones that would blow a hose on, and I saved them. So I've got about 10 or 15 of these long drops, and whenever, I've never really had to do any more of them, but when I need one, I just make one. It saves a lot of money, and then you don't have to stock all those stupid fittings. You can see now I can just run that over and down. I can run a JCFX fitting, you know, a female 1212 JCFX is what it's called. 14400. All right, well, I suppose I've blubbered and blabbered around enough. This thing's cooled off because it's idling. So I'm gonna fix this up, and then I'm gonna fuel up and oil up and grease and all that happy good stuff, and go up on the hill and see if I can get something done. All right, hey, ta-ta, y'all. Good talking to you. Sorry, like I say, I haven't been doing much lately as far as videos, but I'll get back into it a little bit. I want to move to that Trump media thing, get off of YouTube, but whatever. If I do, I'll let everybody know. Okay, see you guys. Ta-ta.